Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we got ourselves some very bullish news for a crypto that a lot of you guys know and love. It is called ALGORAND. And yes, guys, ALGORAND just got themselves a very juicy announcement, namely this right here. FIFA to launch new NFT platform in partnership with ALGORAND. FIFA, the global governing body of soccer, is launching a new NFT collectibles platform with the highly anticipated World Cup just around the corner. The new platform will be launched on ALGORAND, continuing an existing partnership between the two parties. Let's take a look at what we know from our initial announcements that have been released this week. Now, apparently this will be called FIFA Plus Collect. And honestly, a lot of the wording that they used, I kind of didn't fully understand. So if you take a look right here, it says the platform will be called FIFA Plus Collect, got it from credible sources, and will appear to take a Top Shot-esque approach with a bit of a twist. Top Shot, of course, has utilized IP from the NBA, NFL, and UFC to take in-game moments and mint them as NFTs. FIFA will also seemingly leverage big in-game moments and pair them alongside art and imagery, according to the press release. The platform is expected to launch later in this month and is focused on being affordable, inclusive, and accessible to all football fans. And honestly, I've been thinking for a good while. Now, I can really see where this would have a lot of potential. Think about it logically, Let's say Cristiano Ronaldo scores the most beautiful finishing goal of the month, let's say, or of the competition. A lot of people want to own that moment, even though in theory everybody can just film it on their own computer and have that moment. There's only one person that kind of then owns it, I guess, if FIFA really or whatever party in that sense is connected to it. Again, I'm always a little bit confused as to what UEFA now might be, or what FIFA in this case might, in sense of which body exactly decides what. So that would also, indicate exactly what IP you get control over at that point then if you own this moment, if you buy this moment. And when they said accessible or affordable, I sometimes wonder what they mean with that. Does that mean every piece / every moment is cheap from the get-go and they can become more expensive? Or is there going to be some sort of auction system where you can bid from $1? Or is it like first come, first serve, meaning bots will always win? I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to work. Now, in a statement referenced in the press release, FIFA's Chief Business Officer, Romy Guy, stated, "This exciting announcement makes FIFA Collectibles available to any football fan, democratizing the ability to own a part of the FIFA World Cup. Just like sports memorabilia and stickers, this is an accessible opportunity for fans around the world to engage with their favorite players, moments, and more on the new platforms." And again, this is actually an expansion onto ALGORAND's partnership, because as you can read, in May, ALGORAND secured FIFA as one of the biggest partners to date in a timely deal with the World Cup happening later this year. We all knew about it, but as of that point, it was quite unclear exactly how they were going to expand on this partnership. And before I actually move on, guys, make sure you check out my $10,000 giveaway. A link for this is going to be down below. Because yeah, there's about 3 to 4 days left, so you don't want to miss out on this one. So again, go check it out. The link is down below in the description. And that's about it. It's very simple to enter, so check it out. Just follow me over on Twitter. It's as simple as that. The deal also includes the Women's World Cup, which takes place next year and offers a long runway of momentum for the FIFA Plus Collect platform. And the blockchain has clearly taken a narrow and more defined approach to partnership deals, as opposed to casting a wide net and hoping something sticks, as it's been an otherwise relatively quiet 22 for new partnerships, at least in sport. Yeah, because when taking a little bit of a look, ALGORAND's price has been doing quite mediocre, so to speak. Over the last 3 months, we've not really moved too far, except for down, but taking the last 2.5 months then, we've actually literally stayed at this level. Then again, Bitcoin obviously has also stayed in such a trajectory, and the reason that ALGORAND is most likely just continuing to go down as well, partially has to do with the fact that it's mostly institutional backed. It has a lot of unlocks of bigger investors that now getting their tokens that are now able to sell. These are early investors, basically. In terms of partnerships over on their website, I'm not exactly 1,000% sure what they consider a partner, or a, what the difference would be in terms of a partnership with a FIFA, for example, versus a lot of the partners that they have listed here over on the ALGORAND website. But taking a look at their ecosystem announcements, for example, or even the ALGORAND announcements, for example, there's a lot still happening, even though they've not updated this in a significant amount of time. And even this one has not been updated in at least, about 2 months or so. If you just for a second take a little bit of a look at a lot of these, news pieces, you can see FIFA was in there as well. Yeah, it's gotten a lot more quiet, and maybe that's because they're preparing for something way bigger and they're taking the time, or they're expanding on a lot of the partnerships that they've set already in stone. Because as we stated before, HBAR, VeChain, ALGORAND, those are cryptos that have huge partnerships already in place. And I guess a part of it is just expanding on those partnerships. The blockchain is clearly taking a more quiet approach. Outside of FIFA, it's been relatively quiet for sports properties in the blockchain ecosystem, with limited exposure to deals in non-traditional sports such as chess and drone racing. With enough traction, the new FIFA Collect platform could easily become a flagship NFT product. It certainly could. If FIFA pushes this a little bit further, it can literally be the #1 most used NFT platform in the world. It's not even hard, I don't think. FIFA has such a crazy reach. And you know what I also consider? All the kids that are playing the FIFA game, for example, if they do something with that, that could just be huge. I think eventually, and this is some time, it will come eventually. They're also in those FIFA games are going to turn every single card. If you don't know, in a game mode, a multiplayer game mode, in the FIFA games, you have these cards where you can build your team with, right? Eventually, and the same thing goes for NBA, the same thing goes for NFL. All those player cards will eventually be turned into NFTs as well. It's just a matter of time, I personally think. But it will still have immense competition from established players in the sport and entertainment space. You got to understand one of the main reasons why you'd want to have an NFT over a piece of software in that sense, because it could be hacked in. In theory, a lot of those things can just show up in your game, but nobody knows how to verify it and whether or not you've gotten it for real, so to speak. The same thing goes for example, a Pokemon game. You can get a shiny Pokemon by literally hacking your game or working hours and hours and hours for it. Potentially, and the same thing goes for event Pokemon, for example. If, however, it were to be that the event Pokemon can only be gotten from, in a specific NFT form within a certain specific time frame, it's just going to be literally impossible to hack your game to connect with, for example. At least that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe it's still possible to hack it in some way. Hackers are very freaking smart, but you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Where that's going to be something that's most likely going to come up eventually. And I guess ALGORAND is a big pioneer in all of this, as if they're building this on top of ALGORAND, that is insanely huge. A little side note, one thing a lot of people don't know exists is actually the ALGORAND official foundation Telegram. So I've joined this one, and what you can see, at least I haven't joined, but I've looked into it now, is actually a lot of updates as well over from the ALGORAND team over a couple of days. I guess there's like 2 days or so between these little updates, and I guess it's sort of a smaller version of Twitter to some degree. But if you're a guy that likes to get a lot of updates from this and you don't know exactly where to find it, this might be another nice place to just get yourself some updates every here and there. As it seems that they do one every week or so. Yeah, I'm going to say every week there's another one update. But it depends, because here we can see in July it was pretty open with a lot of different stuff. But then, here's a 1 week gap. Let's say about once or twice a week they get an update out. If we're taking a look at ALGORAND addresses, for example, things are also doing pretty well. You can actually take a look at the developer portal and notice, hey, the amount of addresses has shot up pretty drastically. Okay, I decided to open it up myself to take a little bit of a look here. Here you can just see, things I'm not sure exactly why you need to see this, but transactions per second, how things are moving along, blocks closed or average transactions per block. And again, the only one I think is rather important is the total active addresses created, the total addresses created / active addresses over the last month. This is mostly important when we're thinking about selling pressure, for example. Active address is not necessarily bullish or bearish. It depends on exactly what these addresses are doing, right? So we usually mix them with a lot of other factors as well, and a lot of other analytics. Total addresses created, though, is just showcasing how many more, parties are joined in a space. It's hard to say people because you as an individual can own 1,000 different addresses. And in theory, there could just be a lot of bots that are spamming this. But regardless, if you just take a look at, for example, the 30-day or the 90-day, you could just see the massive expansion that they've witnessed over this specific period of time. Specifically here the last couple of days, things are moving really well. Even though the actual number is not increasing that drastically, for a bear market, it's doing rather well. Again, guys, mind you, the actual number increase is not that high. But for a bear market, and specifically the last couple of days here, I think maybe after this FIFA thing was announced, things are starting to move rather nice for them. Same thing kind of goes here for the standard assets, It just depends on how far you pull the y-axis in this case, right? It's going from 5.555 to 5.57. This is not a really crazy increase to go from 5.55 million, for example, to 5.57 million. Then again, it's the span of a week. Even 90 days, it goes from 5.35, let's say, to 5.75. It's good, but it's not crazy. And you can kind of just check out all the different pieces of information if you'd like over on ALGORAND, because at the end of the day, it's a very good ecosystem. They're doing really well. They're thriving, actually. We have the total asset value right there, 2.57 billion. You can check out NFT sales even. I've never actually checked or taken a look at this number. Even the highest amount per NFT. Okay, that's interesting. These have gone for $228,000. I didn't know that was a thing that I can actually watch and never take a look at this. The TVL in DeFi is about $300 million, and total committed algos is about 4 billion. You can also take a look at decentralization, for example, the amount of nodes or the amount of voters over the last week, things like that. It's just kind of nice to be able to see this in a certain way. This is, again, over on the ALGORAND metrics place. You can find the link here to the developer portal over in this article if you're looking for it, or just type in metrics.algorand.org/#/governance. Then again, I think if you're wanting to find it, you'll find it pretty simply. So yeah. But again, things on-chain are doing good, things off-chain are doing good in terms of partnerships, in terms of how we perceive them, because that's an important thing. With Cardano, for example, there was a lot of FUD, a lot of skepticism. With ALGORAND, I'd say that the majority of people I speak to are often just very excited about it, don't really have too much negative to say about the project. And at the end of the day, a lot of this peace of mind can help drastically for project success over the longer term. Again, about a week or two ago, I've gone over exactly what ALGORAND is and the deeper layers of it. If you'd like to see, make sure you go ahead and check it out. Just look on my channel and scroll down a little bit. And I'm just expanding here on the fact that they're doing so exceedingly well. I'm still a holder, I'm still buying more, and I'm just glad to see them grow like this. So yeah, this partnership, most likely a game changer. It could be one of the biggest partnerships in crypto, depending on how they play this out, as this could by far be the biggest NFT platform within a couple of months, even if they play their cards right. I know this partnership is not by definition new, but them launching this actual platform right now, an NFT platform on ALGORAND, that is just huge. To work with them in that sense is already such a huge piece of trust, but then again shows the institutional clients that they have and that they work with. These guys know their way around. These guys know their way around partnerships. This is properly built. There's no question about it in my mind. This stuff is juicy, my guys. But yeah, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys again in another one.